when I first started turning these, the gent who taught me was a gent by the name of Myron Curtis, and he said, what you can do is you'll know where to cut in to part off the bracelet from the blade. They're on the handout. They're 60, 66, and 70. 62 to 66. Okay, close enough. The last show I did, I had a gentleman come up and he said he would like me to make a bracelet for him. And I figured he wanted it for his wife. And he said, no, I need it for myself. And he was a gentle soul. And so what we did was we ended up measuring his wrist. And in order to get a bracelet big enough to go around his hand and onto his wrist, he needed an 80mm inside diameter. What I'll do at this point now, just to kind of speed things up, I'm going to go ahead and reverse chuck this. Now, the first evidence that my shaft here is not parallel, or is not aligned with the faceplate is when I reverse chuck it and turn it on, and you'll see some wobble in it. It's not a big deal if there's a little wobble. If it bothers you, it just means you need to go back and realign the shaft and make sure that the faceplate is absolutely perpendicular with the shaft. In the end, if you can live with it, it's not a big problem, because when you turn this, it's going to turn out, you're going to sand it, and nobody's ever going to know that it's out of alignment at all. I can use all different shapes and sizes. You can undercut as you come around, and that'll give you more of a round bracelet. You can leave it flat on the inside. You can leave the outside flat, similar to one of the bracelets you're getting around. I had a jewelry maker that asked me to make some of these that were just perfectly flat, and she wanted to embellish the outside with some crystals. So you can make them flat like this, and this wide. I could easily have cut that in half and had 2 bracelets out of it. I'll go back to a little scraper here. Do we have any new turners that are used to using? said, you can use any tool. Oh, which part? I'll usually sand it at this point, especially so I can get the inner edges here, because in some wood you might get a little tear out with the parting tool as you're going into the edge. So this is a good time to clean all that up. I normally sand whatever looks good. If I've got some tool marks on the top, I'll start with 100, but if my gouge or my scraper's nice and sharp, you know, I could start with 220 or even 320. Like a ring tool, you could. Most of the ring tools I've seen are pretty small, so you'd end up making a small bracelet. You could. I've also tried parting from both sides, and the headstock tends to get into the way, so that's why I reverse the blank. If I get it all sanded, I could then part it off like it is and then finish it. Or if I was going to use some kind of a friction finish, I could actually put the finish on now. One of the things that I tend to do is I use a lot of sanding sealer for a couple of reasons. One, it seals the wood off. So, not too pleasant if you want to take a look at that.